Good morning. Hi, my name is Emily, and I am a faithful follower of Christ. I have to shut the whole world down when I sleep. I need it silent. I need it dark. If I could, I will. Anyways, earplugs, face mask, the whole deal. Someone said once, you shouldn't wear earplugs or you'll get addicted to them. First of all, I don't think they understood how addiction works. There's no dopamine released. There's no dopamine being downregulated when I put earplugs in my ears. I don't have to do it more and more and more to get that same high. But my thought was, they said, if you use earplugs every night, you're going to get addicted to it, and then you're going to have them to sleep. And I'm thinking, I do have to have them to sleep. That's why I use them. And I use my contacts every day, but I don't necessarily feel addicted to those. Anyways, Karen. Shout out to Karen. Karen, hi. Good morning. I love you. I'm making this super quick video because, speaking of contacts, oh boy, am I blind. No, I am not blind. My vision is blurry. I'm grateful for all the vision that I have, and it's just fine with these. So, shout out to Karen. I just chatted with Karen in the comments. Karen is my girl from a long, long, long time ago, and we have done so many beef, butter, bacon, and egg challenges together. We have traveled and traveled and traveled together this carnivore road. And I just told her I've been busy with local missions. I haven't been on YouTube so much, which it's been really fun. The end of the school year, holy moly. The end of the school year has been as hectic and busy as I realized one day. I was like, this is the springtime equivalent to those 2 weeks of Christmas, where it's like 2 or 3 things, 2 or 3 parties, 2 or 3. And look, Greg and I don't party. I mean, like, the kids' Christmas parties, buying and sending so much to school and back and forth and church and Christmas plays and performances. And how many times can I see my kids dressed in red bows and sing? Millions. I love these kids, and I'm so glad to spend time with them. So anyways, it's been super hectic, but the Lord has had me busy in a few local missions, which has been an absolute blessing. Speaking of which, I thought I'd go ahead and share. I was asked to speak at Celebrate Recovery about a week ago. Yes, tomorrow's Tuesday. It was last Tuesday night. It was wonderful. I'm going to share that here. It is very similar to when I said recently I was asked to preach. So it's that sermon, but the Lord had me tweak it for this particular audience and look these people in the eye. And it was such an absolute, almost indescribable joy to look people in the eyes and encourage them and see them looking back at me, receiving, or so it seemed. Well, it did afterwards when they told me how what I said affected them. It was wonderful. And I've swapped phone numbers with people, and I'm like, come on, we live close to each other. Let's go for walks. Let's be friends forever. But, what a joy it is of mine to not only speak life and truth and God to people, because God is love, and I want them to hear the truth of who and how and why they are. I always figure if Jesus wouldn't say it, it's not true, but there's some nuance there. There's a lot of things that Jesus would never need to say that are entirely true. Anyways, just human logistic stuff that I can't imagine coming out of his mouth. But you get my point. Maybe you don't. It's kind of confusing, and I don't want to go into details to explain it. But let me say this. At the beginning of this particular speech, sometimes I call it a sermon. I guess it was a sermon that I delivered as a speech. I felt led to go ahead and weave in at the expense, at the risk, I should say, the risk of having these poor people sit here for too long. No, they're not poor people, and it wasn't too long. I trusted that the Lord would work it right out. Romans 8:28. Anybody seen Manifest on Netflix? It's a series about an airplane. It's a big mystery. There's 828 all over that. There is Christian subliminal messages all over that. And they might not even be subliminal. I don't know. I haven't watched it in years. But there's 828. Everything's 828. It's Romans 828. There you go. But the Lord worked it right out. And I felt very led before I got into what I was referring to as a story, because I was like, hang in there with me, people. This might be a little long, but it's a story. I'm going to tell you a story. So hang in there. It'll hopefully keep your interest. And it did. And it worked out beautifully. And the Lord had me edit it on my way there. Here it is. Here is the sermon. And literally, don't tell anybody this. Especially don't tell new drivers. I have 2 in my house. I edited it on my way there with a blue highlighter. So I just quickly scribbled out stuff that I thought, we don't need this paragraph. We don't need that paragraph. We don't. I mowed the yard up until this, and he had given me a couple weeks notice. So I could have sat home and really worked it out, but I just felt spirit led to get up there and look at these people and speak to them and tell them what the Lord wants me to tell them. So I had these 9 pages, but and on the way there, I did clip a bunch so that I could very visually scan through them. But mostly I just looked at them and was so thrilled to share with them not only the truth of who they are and who they were created to be, and the wonderful truth that that there is hope always, and that if we experienced it, God allowed us to experience it, period. Our pain has purpose, Isaiah 66:9. If we experienced it, that means God allowed us to experience it. Okay, we know that. That's like in retrospect, we were supposed to experience it. And we know that God uses my favorite verse. One of my favorite verses in the Bible is Genesis 50:20. So Joseph had 11 or 12 brothers. He was either the 12th, I don't know, or he had 12. Okay, they sold him into slavery. The coat of many colors, that whole story. Joseph's brothers sold him into slavery. He ended up being raised by an Egyptian. He became the king of Egypt. He became mighty and powerful. And his brothers came groveling to him when they were... This is all in Genesis. I'm butchering this, but I think I'm getting it right enough. They came to him in a line of everyone else that came to him desperate for food, and during a great famine. And at one point, they're just like apologizing profusely to him. And what he says to him is the number one most empowering thing that I think I've ever heard. He says to them, what the enemy meant for harm, the Lord used for good, and it will be used for the saving of many lives. And what I hear him saying to them is, you don't get the blame. God gets the credit. I love you. I care about you. I'll feed you. But I am not emotionally tangled up with you. I don't hate you. I don't blame you. I worship and praise my Lord and Savior, who used what you did to me for the saving of many lives. So I'm not even going to send you any of my 1,440 minutes. I'm not going to send them your direction. I'm not tangled up here. Look where I am because of the Lord. Because of what you did to me, many lives have been saved. What the enemy means for harm, the Lord uses for good. So I love looking at people and telling them to keep going. And do that without shame. Satan wants to take us in our struggle and kick us while we're down. And what we need to practice telling him is, get back. my mind, as I led up to that sentence, I imagined saying a whole lot more to him. I could think of a couple things. But again, what Jesus tells Satan is, get back, Satan. That's in the Bible more than once. Jesus telling Satan to get back. And what we can tell the Lord is, thank you. Thank you for this struggle. Thank you for this struggle. Thank you for this particular struggle. I looked him in the eyes the other night and told him it's because of the struggle that we're getting stronger. It's why people go to the gym, to intentionally struggle. So Satan wants to take our struggle and twist it into something exponentially worse than it is. Are we struggling with addiction? Of course we are. Are we struggling with mental health issues? Of course we are. These are par for the human course. These are part of learning to navigate this earthly life in these earthly bodies. But do we need to be ashamed, feel ashamed of it? No, no more than I feel ashamed of needing to wear these. Now, would I feel good about not wearing them and driving recklessly, or not wearing them and giving my kids the wrong medication, or not wearing them and bringing the wrong kid home from Walmart? No, I would not feel good about that. So I need to be responsible and wear them. We do want to be responsible and let the Lord lead us into solutions. Anyways, the beginning of that speech, I talk about the difference between shame and guilt, and I use a little alliteration to help people remember it. But if you've listened to me for any time at all, you've probably heard it. It's a little review. At the end of that, right before I delivered that speech, a friend of mine walked up and was like, Emily, oh my goodness, guess what? Since we used to meet when I was doing that other program that I think is a crock, she said, I've gone carnivore. And I was like, you have? That's amazing. She said, my pain got so bad I was using a walker. Carnivore, I've lost 35 pounds. My blood's where I want it. My markers are where I want it. My cholesterol's where I want it. On and on and on and on and on and on and on. The girl has got it going on. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And I said, I've been wanting to hook up with some local. I want to meet up, M-E-A-T. I want to meet up with some local carnivores. I said, I thought about starting a group. She goes, you don't have to. We have one. I was like, sign me up. Thank you, Lord. I don't have to start it and lead it and the whole deal. But my wheels were turning to maybe, because I would like to be around more and more meat eaters. Which, by the way, that's going really good. Greg and I are onto something that I may or may not share more and more details of. But we are on week 4 of beef, salt, and water. Period. It's mind-blowing what it has done to calm my brain. No more obsessive food thoughts. He has lost 20 pounds. His blood pressure is down 20 points. I've lost quite a bit of weight, but I don't know how many because I don't step on that scale. But I can tell you my little black sweatpants, little. They're not little. I mean, that is not a black. That's not them. They look, just pretend like this is sweatpants. They look a lot like this cardigan. They were maxed, and I know some of y'all know what I'm talking about. When the elastic is doing all it can do, it's no longer scrunchy. It's more like smooth. So, no, they're not like that anymore. I almost need a smaller size. But anyways, we're in month 4 where we have only eaten one thing for almost 1 month. And I'm keeping a little record of just like these amazing experiences I'm having, the results we're getting, and also how I'm jumping hurdles. And there's been 4 times in 1 month that I got to a very interesting, very eye-opening, very revealing moment of when I would have normally turned to sugar. And was it for hunger? No, it was for a variety of other reasons. And so I was like, wow, this is so interesting. My body is screaming for sugar right now, and I'm not hungry. I've got, when you eat nothing but beef, well, just imagine taking a concrete truck and filling your stomach. And when you take that final bite to fill your stomach, the leptin can communicate that lets you know you're full. You know you're full and you are not hungry for many more hours. So if something emotional comes up between just filled my stomach with concrete and I'm probably down to about 10% concrete, if something comes up in there and you find yourself screaming for sugar, well, there's something to dig around and think about there. So, okay. That ought to do it. Enjoy this. I'll just link below if you want to listen to it. If you want to listen to it, you can hear my speech from Celebrate Recovery the other night. It was a joy. It was for Holly. This girl that came up to me afterwards, I don't think she would mind me saying her name. I won't say her last name. Maybe it was Holly. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was Molly. Maybe it was Polly. I don't know her last name, so you're not going to figure out who she is. But she was a joy, and all the affirmation I needed, that I said everything I was supposed to say. So now, these kids are on summer break. I make sure to get 8 hours of sleep. I got 6 last night and then woke up and took care of a bunch of kids and organized bedrooms and laid back down for 2 more. And I got it. Check. Time to go swimming. I've been telling the kids, when you make it look like school never happened, because the enormous amount of stuff they brought home from school. You know, with 1 or 2 kids, it would have sat on our kitchen table for 3 weeks. But with 7, I'm like, there's a box for Goodwill. There's a trash can. The rest you have to put away and give me a few little papers. I'll file them for how cute you are. Okay. I've been telling them, let's go swimming. We're going to go swimming. Hey, guys. Are you ready? Come here. All 4 of you. Where is he? Okay. Mary's laundry's put away. How's the kitchen floor? Is it good? Well, we need to get out in the car. All right, never mind. They did more than I thought they did. It's up to me now. Yes, girl, get that bathing suit on. I'm going to get mine on. It's time to go. All right. I love you all dearly. We'll talk again soon. Bye.